Hello everyone and welcome to the Anime Daily, and thank you for joining me as we discuss chapters 7 to 13 of the Quintessential Quintuplets manga series, following the tradition of all 5 female characters watching fireworks together as it stems from their memories with their mother, in where they shared fun times with her doing that said subject. Focusing mostly on the characters of Miku, Nino, and Ichiki and Yusuke. Or Ichika, sorry. Mispronounced the name there. So then really quick, let's start off with Nino's character. This character showed more genuineness and a sweeter side to her character, while also following through with the whole wanting to protect her sister's vibe and act like the big important sister she is. And honestly, I really like that, because it reinforces and backs up her words and statements from the previous chapters that makes it more believable and makes the character more respectable. Now, to her, this fireworks festival was really important and held a lot of meaning. An occasion in where she rented out a top of a roof building so that they all can watch it together privately. If this doesn't scream out importance to you, then I don't know what will. But this came across as being really genuine and just important and emotional to Nino's character, which is a side we haven't seen before. She genuinely looked upset and worried that all of her planning and all of her kind of hopes and wishes for this event would come crumbling down when she was trying to get hold of her sisters, because she forgot to tell them the location of where they'll be watching it too. And I was shocked that when she admitted having some fault, because when she admitted having fault, it came across again as genuine, but then that shock was still held true, especially after hearing the words spoken by her mother, in where they all state at the end of this mini arc that all 5 sisters share everything: happiness, anger, sadness. When one fails, they all fail. When one succeeds, they all succeed. And that line there again goes back to what Yusuke was saying in, I think it was chapter 3 to Miku, or chapter 4 it might have been, where he says, if one of you can do it, then you can all do it. And that kind of parallel between the two obviously helped Miku grow and helped her kind of invest and try to study. So the fact that her mother stated and told her something similar obviously adds a bit more power, a bit more meaning and impact to that statement. Now, again, when they said that all 5 sisters are at fault and they all share fault, I do think that some characters aren't as big a fault as others. For example, Yosuba didn't really have a good reason to be blamed in this scenario. She was just going around having fun, and yes, she may have stayed out too long and forgotten about the fireworks, but I mean, at the same time, the memory is them being together and enjoying themselves. At least she's enjoying herself. So we'll move along now, because there is a We Never Learn joke I want to mention. Go on and I'll mention it. But you know, in We Never Learn, if you've read that series, is all like the endings all kind of congregate to who Naruyuki was holding at the fireworks festival. Now, if this was We Never Learn, then that meant that Nino was the bride at the beginning of chapter 1, because she was holding onto Yusuke's shirt when the first fireworks went off and they saw fireworks together for the first time. So, just putting that out there if you're a Nino fan. Now, Miku got a decent amount of showcasing in these chapters, showing off more of her emotions through her expressions, especially when questioned about Yusuke and Miku's relationship in what that entails. To her, she already viewed Yusuke as a friend, if not more. However, upon hearing his side of the story and how he feels for the first time, her expressions were a mixture of shock, sadness, and slight confusion. She wasn't quite sure as to why they weren't friends just yet, or in fact more. It's obvious that she wants to mean something more to Yusuke than just being his student and him being the tutor, as this is reinforced by the fact that she changes her hairstyle midway through this arc. And in chapter 8, Itsuki stated that when a girl changes her hairstyle, you should first compliment her. Making Miku's new kind of like hairstyle kind of her way of wanting to get a compliment from Yusuke. She just wanted to be noticed, thus also adapting a similar look to one of her sisters in the name of Ichika. Because to Miku, Yusuke was just constantly running around looking for Ichika because he wanted to bring her to the Fireworks Festival watch location. Of course, Miku didn't really know this. She didn't really think along this line. So she shortened her hair. She made herself look similar. She even got confused by Ichika's agent. So her actions, Miku's actions, to me just state that she wants to have a deeper relationship with Yusuke. She wants to be more than friends, or at least friends on that certain level, and wants to feel important. And she finally started feeling like she had a friend and that she was feeling like she was important to someone. But then obviously shock occurred when Yusuke didn't return those feelings that she feels towards himself. Hopefully that made sense. So these two girls that I've spoken to in the beginning of this review, in these chapters, do see a mixture of development, and I really like it. They're fun, enjoyable characters that added different elements to the story that help develop the characters and the plot move along so that each and every person played their own role respectively, and it was just fun seeing them all. I really did like seeing Nino and Miku in this scenario. Now, I just mentioned that the two girls that I've just spoken about have had development, but both Yusuke and Ichika develop further as characters to the point where the series starts making me liking both characters from a certain point of view. Now, before reading these chapters, I didn't actually like Yusuke as a character, and I didn't like Ichika because we hadn't really got to know her just yet. But after reading these, I actually do like them and respect both characters genuinely. As we see Yusuke slowly become more and more relaxed around these female characters, taking positive action in better supporting them, rushing towards trying to make sure that all the girls attended this fireworks festival together, shows that he understood the importance of this event to them. He managed to learn the story of why they go to do this event, why this event was so important to them, and managed to look at Nino and see how she was reacting. And it shocked him a little bit because it wasn't what he was used to. So that's what prompted him to help them even further and support them. Plus, one action that helped gain a lot more respect for him as a character was the refusal of accepting the money that he was owed at the beginning of Chapter 7. He felt like he hadn't done anything worthy to accept that much money. So me seeing him put so much effort into helping Nino, helping all the other characters, is kind of a way of him earning that paycheck by supporting them, by helping them, by encouraging the girls to be together. So that earned a lot of respect from me as a reader. Going back to understanding things, Yusuke towards the end realized that his words and how they made Miku feel were in the wrong. Thus his actions to change his wordings and his views towards the relationship between himself and the other girls. For him, they're not friends. Instead, they're partners that support each other in a day-to-day basis. They support him by allowing him to work, thus paying off his family's debt and providing for his family better. Where he gets support, where he supports them in studying and helping them with real-life issues that they have to face. So it's a two-way system in where they're both supporting each other. At the moment, I think it would be too fast for Yusuke to say they're all friends, because he doesn't view that, and that's perfectly fine. This, the way they set it up at the end of the chapter, where they're both partners to support each other, I think works to his character very nicely, and works from a pacing aspect, and was just good writing in general. So then we'll move finally on to Ichika. Learning that she wants to become an actress was great for building her character and adding different layers and more substance to the character in terms of what we can remember and what makes her different from the other sisters. But one thing that was even more better and even greater was the storytelling surrounding that desire to act. Her passion and commitment to her dream of becoming an actress was showcased excellently, as we had the meaning and the importance of this fireworks festival explained to us time and time again, and it was built up to the point where this is something that they've always done, something they had to do. So to us as the reader, this was something that could not be broken. Ichika was willing to break that tradition and anger/upset all of her other sisters by being selfish in going to this audition, thus missing the fireworks festival and creating a bit of tension and animosity between the sisters in that type of regard. Which, don't get me wrong, this was not an easy choice for Ichika to make. There was a lot of inner struggles and inner turmoil for her to do. She really did not want to disappoint her sisters, and there were two ways that we could tell this from a story standpoint. Number one, she was ready to leave them completely had she failed to get the job done and to get the acting role. If she had failed or gone to the audition, missed the fireworks, upset her sisters and failed to get a result, that's it, she would have been gone. She couldn't have faced them anymore. Which tells me that it was important to her, and so was the acting job and chance. And number two, she looks happy and grateful when they have their own mini fireworks display in some form of park or back garden, not really quite sure what it was, I can't remember, telling me that her inner struggles and her words were all true and genuine. Yes, she was torn between staying and going back to her sisters, or going towards her dream and advancing her career as an actress. So from a writing perspective, I thought this was excellently conveyed to us as the reader. Ichiki's feelings and desires were handled brilliantly. Great character. Not the best character. I still don't really think she's one of the best characters just yet. But she's getting there. We're building her character up slowly but surely. So basically, that's my thoughts on these block of chapters. I thought they were really great. Overall, I enjoyed this mini arc of sorts. I was planning to only review 3 chapters like I have been doing consistently on my last 2 videos. However, I was having so much enjoyment and got so immersed in reading these chapters that I kind of just went along with it and read the whole mini arc itself. So this is why we have a longer review today. The art style was really nice and well detailed, and the expressions were all wholesome, sweet, and told a personal story relating to each character, which is something that I loved. And the writing of the actual arc itself was just brilliant in my opinion. The way they have handled the characters' interactions and this dialogue, the speech, the expressions, everything that surrounds it, created a nice atmosphere that made sense and was realistic. The development given to the characters was respectable and much needed, as we haven't seen much about the girls just yet. So we are still building them. We are still showing off what they like and how they react and everything else. Which, in 13 chapters, I feel like it's done that at a very good pace. I haven't spoken much about Itsuki yet, but she did shine a bit here, especially in chapter 7 with her arcade trip with Yusuke and his sister. I thought that was really wholesome, really sweet, really caring, and throughout this entire arc, Itsuki actually drops little kind of hints and states to Yusuke that, you know, you need to start understanding women's inner thoughts, and just kind of giving him a little bit of pointers and hints as to how to better get the sisters on board and how to deal with them a little bit easier. So I really liked that. She played like a supporting role, but wasn't really a heavy focus. But again, she had a nice design. Her yukata design was great. And they dropped so many hints throughout this arc about different characters, teasing them in becoming the wife at the end for our male protagonist. I mean, we had, was it Rina? Yusuke's sister was like, oh wow, we're like a family when taking the photos, which was a bit of a tease. And we have obviously more in the future. We have more throughout scattered as well. But I thought that was great. I can't wait to learn more about the other characters and what their stories entail. So hopefully we see more of that. And I know from reading other shows similar to this and other series similar to this, that the mother that was mentioned in this arc is going to play a big role in the story when moving forward. What that is, I have no idea, but I'm looking forward to seeing how this ties in with all 5 sisters in making their bond stronger. So yeah, big expectations for the upcoming chapters, but I'm looking forward to enjoying myself every step of the way, and I hope you enjoyed my thoughts on this mini arc of sorts. If you have, hit that like button and comment your thoughts down below in the comment section down below on any of the points that I've mentioned or anything that I've missed out. Let's have a conversation down there, and yeah, hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and of course, I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time. Arigato, matane, goodbye!